Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through the noise and get straight to the insights that matter.
That's the plan.
And today, we're tackling something huge, something that really impacts all of us, the future of work.
It really does.
We've gone through, well, a lot of material articles, research, even some manifestos about what work looks like now.
And what it might look like down the road.
Exactly. And how we all kind of fit into that changing picture. So our mission today, to really boil down this massive shift, help you make sense of the forces behind it.
And maybe spark some ideas for your own career path.
Hopefully.
Yeah, and what's really striking looking at all this stuff is that it's not just about the tech.
Right. People always jump to AI and robots.
They do, and obviously AI and automation are massive drivers, no question. But the sources we looked at, they show this much more complex picture. It's social expectations changing, economic pressures, of course, and even like psychological shifts in how we think about work itself.
How we define it, yeah.
Exactly. We're definitely moving past the old 9-to-5 model.
For sure.
But what comes next? It's not always crystal clear, is it?
No, it really isn't. And, when people talk future of work, you get those images.
Robots taking over.
Robots everyone's the digital nomad on a beach somewhere.
Right. The glamorous version.
But the reality, like you said, and like our sources show, it's much more complex. And frankly, a lot of it is already here.
It is.
I mean, just look at remote work. The explosion there.
Oh, absolutely.
Before 2020, it felt like, what, a perk? Maybe a bit neater.
Novelty.
Now, for millions, it's just how you work.
It's the norm for many.
And we saw this one report. It pointed out how companies that got on board with remote work early, they actually saw employee satisfaction go up significantly.
Yeah.
And maybe surprisingly, productivity often went up too.
That's right. And that productivity point, it links to the bigger picture, doesn't it?
However so.
Well, remote work really challenges that old idea that you have to be there, physically present, to be productive.
The presenteeism thing.
Exactly. Our sources talk about how it's opened up a global talent pool.
Right. Hiring from anywhere.
Which sort of decentralizes the traditional big city hubs. And in theory, gives people more flexibility.
In theory, yeah.
But it also brings up a really important question. How do you maintain connection, when the office isn't a physical place anymore?
That's a big one.
Yeah, a lot of the studies we read pointed to the real challenges in keeping company culture alive. And, sparking those random, innovative water cooler moments in a totally remote setup.
Right, those chance encounters.
No, it's not some magic bullet. It's a powerful tool, sure, but it needs, really careful thought in how it's used.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And kind of connected to remote work is the whole gig economy thing. We can't ignore that.
Definitely not. It's huge.
It's totally reshaped how so many people make a living. Ride sharing, freelance design, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Our sources really showed both sides. On one hand, incredible flexibility, autonomy for some people.
The upside?
But then the other side, big worries about benefits, job security, income. That's just all over the place. There was one article contrasting that sort of optimistic independent contractor idea.
Yeah, the empowered freelancer.
With the, let's say, tougher reality for people who feel kind of forced into work that feels really insecure.
Indeed. And the gig economy it's a perfect example of where this future of work has both massive opportunity and some serious potential downsides. Some of the research we looked at showed, yes, it's easy to get started for many.
Low barrier to entry.
Exactly. But that lack of traditional employee protections, it can really make income inequality worse, which leads to this really crucial societal debate, you know? How do we even define employment now in the 21st century?
And are safety nets up to scratch?
Precisely. Are the systems we have, our social safety nets, actually adequate for this new way of working?
That's a huge question.
Yeah.
So, if work itself is changing this fast, what does that mean for skills, for individuals?
Oh, yes.
We hear so much about the skills gap. What are these sources telling us? What skills actually matter most going forward?
Okay, this is where it gets, I think, really interesting for you, the listener. The consensus, pretty much across all the material we read, was clear. Yes, technical skills are still valuable, always will be.
Sure, coding, data analysis.
Right. But the real premium, it's increasingly on the uniquely human abilities.
Like what?
Things like creativity, critical thinking, complex problem solving, emotional intelligence is a big one, adaptability.
Soft skills.
Exactly. The one report we saw from a major think tank, they actually argued these soft skills are becoming the new hard skills.
Oh, interesting. Why?
Because they're the hardest things for AI and automation to copy, to replicate.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. If the machines can do the repetitive stuff,
then humans need to focus on what the machines can't do.
Right. So it's less about just knowing facts, more about how you think and how you interact with people.
Precisely.
Okay, but then how do you get those skills? Is it like back to university or something different?
Well, the sources really point towards a big shift. It's all about lifelong learning, continuous upskilling.
Right, not just one degree and you're done.
Exactly. Less about that single qualification defining your whole career, and much more about this constant cycle of learning new things, adapting.
Okay.
We saw lots of examples, things like micro-credentialing.
Like badges, short courses.
Yeah, online courses, company-run training programs becoming really common. And this idea of a portfolio career kept popping up too.
What's that exactly?
It's where you might blend, say, a few different part-time roles or freelance projects, drawing on a diverse set of skills.
Mm-hmm.
The underlying idea seems to be building resilience by diversifying what you do and what you know.
Diversification, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this all sounds like a massive adjustment, not just for us as individuals, but for society.
Oh, absolutely.
What about those bigger economic implications? Are we seriously talking about things like universal basic income or totally new ways of structuring the economy?
Well, that brings up a critical point. If automation means fewer human jobs are needed in certain areas,
Which seems likely to some extent.
right, then how do societies make sure everyone has a basic level of well-being and economic stability?
Yeah.
Some of the more, let's say, provocative analyses we read definitely explored UBI.
Universal basic income.
Yeah, framing it not just as like welfare, but maybe as an investment in people, in stability, allowing folks to maybe pursue creative things or get more involved civically.
Okay, that's one view.
But naturally, other sources push back hard.
What were the counter-arguments?
Concerns about, well, would people still want to work? The disincentive argument, or just the sheer cost of implementing something like UBI?
Right, the practicalities. It's clearly a really hot debate.
Huge debate. No easy answers there.
Another trend we saw mentioned quite a bit was the push for shorter work weeks.
Yes, the 4-day week.
The 4-day week is the classic example, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that just about, better work-life balance? Or is there a business case, a productivity argument?
It seems to be both, actually.
Really?
Yeah, several case studies we looked at, trials and things, they showed that when it's done right, a 4-day week can actually boost productivity.
Boost it, not just maintain it.
Boost it, yeah. And reduce burnout, improve employee well-being. The idea is that if work is more concentrated and people have more genuine time off,
They come back more refreshed and focused.
that seems to be the theory. More engaged, more efficient. But,
There's always a but.
well, it's obviously not going to work for every single industry,
Yeah.
and it requires a pretty big cultural shift inside a company.
True.
But it definitely highlights this broader trend, this kind of reevaluation of how work fits into life.
Yeah.
There's a growing focus on well-being, on finding fulfillment, not just getting a paycheck.
So, okay, we've covered a lot. The tech shifts, the new skills that matter, these big societal questions it all raises. What's the main takeaway for you listening to this, thinking about your own place in all this change?
I think the absolute key takeaway across everything we read is adaptation, agility,
Being flexible.
being flexible, yeah.
Wow.
The sources just consistently emphasize that the people and the organizations that thrive in the future, they'll be the ones who really embrace continuous learning.
That lifelong learning thing again.
Absolutely. Cultivating those uniquely human skills we talked about, creativity, empathy, complex thinking, and just being open to work, looking different, not sticking rigidly to old structures.
Right.
It's really about shifting from a fixed mindset, this is how things are, to more of a growth mindset, seeing all this change not just as a threat.
But as a chance to reinvent.
Exactly. As an opportunity for reinvention, for growth.
That's really well put. This whole deep dive, it's really opened my eyes to just how many layers there are here.
It's complex.
It really is. It's not just, oh no, jobs are vanishing. It's more like work itself is morphing into something new.
Something different.
Something that needs different things from us, but also offers different kinds of possibilities. So, thinking about all this, what stands out most to you as you consider your own path forward? Maybe think about this. if the future really does put a premium on human creativity, on connection, on those unique human skills, what does that empower you to maybe explore or learn or even create that perhaps you haven't really considered before?